What's the most disrespectful thing a teacher ever did to you? My teacher confiscated my EpiPen during a test, and minutes later, I felt my throat closing up. I sat there, gasping for air while the classroom blurred around me. See, I've had severe allergies since I was 5, and that EpiPen is literally my lifeline. At home, everyone knows what to do if I have a reaction, but at school, I keep that injector in my pocket at all times because seconds matter when anaphylaxis hits. Yesterday, I was taking my final exam when I felt the first symptoms starting: itchy palms, that familiar tingle on my lips. I quietly placed my EpiPen on the corner of my desk just in case things got worse. I've done this hundreds of times, and my regular teachers know what it is and why I need it visible. But we had a new proctor that day who didn't know anything about my condition. She spotted the EpiPen and immediately assumed I was cheating. She marched over and whispered harshly, "No unauthorized items during testing." I tried explaining in a hushed voice that it was my emergency medication, but she just glared and said, "Save the excuses." Before I could stop her, she snatched it away and dropped it in her desk drawer. "You can have it back after the test," she said, walking away. I sat there, stunned, as the symptoms intensified. My classmates were focused on their exams and I didn't want to cause a scene, so I tried to push through. 5 minutes later, hives erupted across my arms. My breathing became labored. I raised my hand desperately, but she ignored me, assuming I was trying to ask a question about the test. When I finally stood up, dizzy and wheezing, she snapped, "Sit down, or I'll mark your test as invalid." I couldn't speak clearly anymore, just pointed frantically at her desk while clutching my throat. Some students finally noticed what was happening. "She's having an allergic reaction," someone shouted. "She needs her EpiPen." The teacher froze, finally understanding, but valuable seconds ticked by as she fumbled with her drawer. By the time she handed it over, I could barely see straight. A classmate had to help me administer the injection because my hands were shaking too badly. The next thing I remember is waking up in an ambulance. The paramedic told me I was lucky. Any longer without intervention, and things could have been much worse. When my mom arrived at the hospital, the principal was already there, apologizing profusely. But then, he had the audacity to suggest that both parties could have handled things better, and that I should have more clearly communicated my medical needs. My mom's face went completely still. She pulled out her phone and said, "I'm calling our lawyer. My daughter nearly died because your staff confiscated life-saving medication, and you're suggesting she shares the blame?" The school placed the teacher on administrative leave while they investigated the incident, but they also suggested I should write a statement acknowledging I should have followed proper channels for medical accommodations. So I wrote it. I did it because I just wanted this nightmare to end and graduate in peace, but I didn't sign it, and now I don't know what to do. My life was literally in danger, and they're still acting like I broke a rule.